Happy Monday, everybody. Hi, it's Lori, and I'm here in St. Louis, Missouri. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful fall day for a Monday. Oh my goodness, at least it's not raining. It's a little bit cooler today. The weather is nice, so it's really helped get me in the mood for fall and things like that. Like I've said before, fall is not my season, but I'm here to try. So anyway, today I'm going to use, this is day 7. We're on day 7 of 31. Pretty proud of myself. This is the 7th day in a row that I'm giving you a project. Today's project is using the Regal Christmas Designer Series paper, and that's the focus of today's card. Yesterday I received an invitation for a lunch from a church friend. So Allison, if you're watching this, thank you for your inspiration today. And I saw it and I thought, oh, I could make this card. Well, then fast forward another 5 minutes, and Miss Kay sits in front of me at church every week. Every week she sits in front of me. And yesterday I was looking at the back of her skirt because, you know, that's what you do when you sit behind somebody or when you stand up. And her skirt reminded me of, and I couldn't remember the name of it at the time, but the Regal Christmas paper, which is what I'm using today. And she thinks I'm crazy anyway. And so I said, Miss Kay, can I take a picture of the back of your skirt? And she was like, okay. And I said, well, the paper, I'm pretty sure it's almost the same pattern as one of my patterned papers. And I like I said, she thinks I'm crazy anyway. So she let me take a picture of the back of her skirt. And I showed Matt the picture this morning, and I'm like, don't you think this paper looks like Miss Kay's skirt? And he was like, no, not really. But anyway, I'm going to show it to you, and I will post the picture of the skirt next to the paper, and I'll see if any of y'all think that it does match. So anyway, let me flip it around here. I'm going to show you the card that I copied off of, that I cased, and I'm switching it over to my project. So let's get going. Getting better at flipping my camera around, I think. Let me make sure we're in the right spot, though. Make sure my holder is not wacky. All right. Hey, Robin. Happy Monday to you as well. It is beautiful and sunny here, which is very exciting. And it's cooler. I actually have a long sleeve shirt on today. I could probably do a short sleeve, but here I am. Having trouble getting my video to come up. There we go. All right, so this is the card that I got yesterday, and it is it's an invitation. It's just, you know, it's printed on the inside, but that's not the important part. She used a piece of Designer Series paper along with another panel that had a ribbon around it with the words at the bottom. So here's what I'm gonna do, and she was making way more than I am, so I'm taking a different paper and a different, like, she cuts straight edges. I used the deckled rectangles, so that's how I cased Allison's card. So hopefully you can see where it's coming from. So let's get started with that. But I'm going to show you the paper because I have to admit, I saw this paper in the catalog, and it's called the Regal Christmas Designer Series paper, and I look at this and I think, bleh, it's not very pretty. Like, it is not my color family. It is not my favorite. And I do like this die. Unfortunately, I don't have the bundle, so I'm showing you with a different stamp set, but it fits my purpose for today, or the other stamp set does. So I do have the ribbon. We're going to use the ribbon that's in the suite. But anyway, I just want to show you the paper because I was so pleasantly surprised. Not that I thought Miss Kay's skirt was ugly, but it was just reminded me. So the skirt reminds me of this pattern, and it's got Blackberry Bliss, Cherry Cobbler, it's got some shades of purple, some shades of blue. It's very pretty. And all the backs are monotone, like they're monochromatic. The navy flower it's very pretty. Anyway, I underestimated. I'm going to give Stampin' Up some credit for this one. This is pretty much the same pattern, but it is more red. It doesn't have, oh, no, I'm telling lies. Hang on. There's another one that's almost the same. Because that's what I do. I fib all the time. All right, well, We'll find it in just a minute. So pretend for a second. No, it is different. It is different. All right, this one has the blackberry bliss flowers. This one just has the cherry cobbler. So very similar. Obviously, I can't tell my colors apart. And then this one's the navy, and then this one has cherry cobbler flowers on the back. This one, I think, may be my favorite in the packet. It's got kind of a really dark background with some lighter colors, and it matches the blackberry bliss ribbon that goes with the suite. It's beautiful. It is actually almost perfect. So there's the front of that one, and then the back is the wild wheat. Wild wheat's not my favorite, but it's grown on me a little bit. And then this one is very similar to the other pattern that I showed you, but it's just navy, and it's very similar. It's exactly the same as the one we're using today, except I'm using the blackberry bliss, and this is the navy side. And there's pretty peacock and blackberry bliss. Looks like little crinkles almost. And then even the wild wheat piece that's in the catalog, I thought, it's not as bad as I thought. And if I think it's not bad, then the average person would probably think it was okay too. And then the back of that one is pretty peacock plaid. So we are going to use the floral piece, the blackberry bliss floral piece. And I had to switch Allison's plan a little bit because I couldn't stamp directly on my card because my stamp that I'm using goes off the side, and I didn't want to mess with that. So I have my blackberry bliss card base, and I did a 4 1/4 by 11 just for a little bit different. And I have my white panel for my front, and then I die cut a deckled rectangle out of the middle because we're going to use that, and that panel is going to go right there without that. And then I took my designer series paper, and I did this ahead of time so you didn't have to wait for me. I die cut a rectangle, a deckled rectangle out of this piece in kind of the spot where I wanted my piece to go. We're going to glue that down, and then we're going to glue this one right onto here and put it on there. So let's do that. But I actually, before I get started, goodness, I want to stamp my page because this is going to be glued directly on the card, so I want to make sure. And the stamp set that I'm using is the Sweetly Scripted, which is, it's got multiple occasions: happy anniversary, congratulations, happy birthday, million thanks, speedy recovery, and save the date. And these are, it's a great all occasion stamp set. I thought this looked like a pretty get well soon card, so I'm going to do speedy recovery. I'm going to walk this right across my ink pad. And like I said, it goes off of the ink, off of the paper when you do it this way. If we were going the other way, it would be completely fine. But since it goes off, I wanted to make sure that I used the right, that I had a panel and I wasn't stamping directly on my card front, because goodness knows I didn't want to ruin my card front. Okay, so I did that in Blackberry Bliss ink. It'll lighten a little bit as it dries. And then we're going to go ahead and glue the Blackberry Bliss panel directly onto that panel. Let my ink dry a little bit before I put my fingers all over it, because you all know what would happen, right? Okay, and I did just a tight little white mat around it. It's a pretty tight border, but I didn't want it to be glaringly white. Go ahead and glue this piece as well. And for the designer series paper, I'm going to use, I'm having trouble getting a hold of things today. I'm going to use the liquid glue. There is, if you did not know, there is a stamp sale going on right now for 3 days. I can't believe I've been talking for 5 minutes and I didn't tell you this yet. It's so exciting. There's a stamp sale, all stamps, stamps only, not bundles, in the annual catalog. So the big book, all the stamps in there, any stamp in there is 15% off today through Wednesday. So be sure to check that out. That's an exciting thing. This stamp set is actually an online exclusive, so it isn't included. Oh my goodness, it's Monday. I'm having some trouble with words. We had kind of a busy weekend. And today, I feel like I could have taken a nap, but I didn't. I did not take a nap today yet. It's early, I guess, but no, I won't. I have a big event coming up in a couple of weeks, and my friend Sarah's coming. We're doing some work for that. And then I have some ladies coming for my demonstrator team meeting tonight. So I've got things to do. There's no napping today. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this piece down because once I start putting dimensionals on it, it's not quite as easy to glue down. There we go. Also, be sure, if you have not already, to sign up for my email list. That's where I will tell you about all the exciting things that I have coming up. It is the holidays, and we have, I'm going to have a lot of things coming up soon. So make sure you don't miss out on any of that. So I'll post the link for my email list. Make sure you sign up for that so you don't miss a thing. Okay, I'm just going to tie the Blackberry Bliss ribbon around. We could have also, I did think about putting it on there and just tying a bow around the whole thing. But I think I'm just going to go with how the sample was because that's just how I copied it. Just tie a knot, no bows today, just a knot. Should be easier, right? Blackberry Bliss and gold is one of my favorite things, one of my favorite combinations. With vanilla, I think it's beautiful. It's really one of my favorites. Okay, so I've got my knot. I'm just going to trim that off just a little bit. And I'm going to put that on. And I'm going to use, actually, I'm going to use the black dimensionals because this piece is so dark. I don't want the white dimensionals to be glaring on the back. So I'm just going to use the dark ones. Those right on here. And this card is super simple. Once I have the pieces cut, it's an easy little project. And as you can see, it can be, different patterns look completely different. Make sure I got my designer series paper going the right way so that it looks like it all goes together, and you can see where the edge of the flowers, where the stems go across the piece. So there's that, and there you have it. Simple. If you had some gold sequins or some gold gems, there are the gems that match the suite, and they are called the Regal foiled adhesive gems. I do have some of those. I should have brought those over, but I didn't. But I did want to show you really quick. Matching reminds me. So I showed you the papers. Pull it back out for a second. And I didn't realize until I had them out today. I pulled out. Well, hello, Susan. How are you? All right. So when I use adhesive, I love the liquid glue when I'm doing papers like these for this designer series papers. And the reason for that is if I put, actually, let me just show you. Let me just show you what would happen. Let me see if I can find a piece really quick. Well, you know what? I will, that maybe will be, well, all right. I'm trying to look on my desk. I cleaned up my desk. No one will believe that, I know. But I use the liquid glue when I do the thinner papers, like the designer series papers. And I do that because the liquid glue gives you just a little bit of wiggle room. You can move it. So if you get it on crooked, which of course none of us ever do, but if you got it on a little crooked like that, then you still have a little bit of time to straighten it out if you use the liquid glue. However, if I use, I'm looking. All right, if I use, I'm just gonna cut a small piece of this so that I can actually show you. Okay, bear with me, I'm gonna answer that. All right, this paper does not match, but that's not the point, right? All right, so if I use, I'm gonna show you both ways. If I use the liquid glue and I put it on here, and I try to put it on, and I'm like, oh, that's a little crooked. It doesn't fully set, so I can move it around. It gives me that wiggle room, okay? But then, hi Monica, thanks for joining me. But then if I use a regular tape runner type adhesive, which is a little stickier, but it just works differently. If I do that with this paper, so I'm going to put that on the back of this one, like that. If I put that on my paper and I realize, oh man, I got it crooked, and I try to peel that off, it rips. I didn't push it hard, but it will rip this paper or the cardstock. So it's just easier, like if I got it down, oh man, it's wrong. To pull it off with the other kind of adhesive is harder. So it just makes it easier. The liquid glue just gives you that wiggle room to be able to move that. Susan, does that answer your question? Is that a good explanation or understandable explanation? A lot of my ladies really like the liquid glue. And then some ladies like tape runners, so it just kind of depends on you. Okay, I'm not going to say it, but yeah, you probably should always use glue. Just you personally, but yes. No, and maybe I should show you the difference. I should let you practice with both. Next time you're here, we'll do that. All right, so we have our card. We have this with the Blackberry Bliss ribbon. So I noticed when I pulled out this paper this morning, if I look at these pieces right here, Stampin' Up was brilliant, and I don't even think it was planned. The cherry cobbler ribbon that's in a different suite matches perfectly, and it also has a little gold edge. So there's that one. But then the other paper that the wild wheat matches the wild wheat ribbon that's in a different suite also. So that paper matches 3 of the current ribbon embellishments. So that one, like I said, I 100% underestimated this paper, and it is so much prettier than what I thought. So anyway, card that I copied and my actual product. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Today is, like I said, day 7, and I will be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. with day 8 of 31 projects in 31 days. I'll also be live at 11:30 tomorrow for lunch with Lori. So I will see you hopefully twice tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks.